You've quit things, maybe a lot of things, a job that looked perfect on paper, a relationship that everyone told you was good for you, a creative project you poured your heart into, a degree program, a business idea, a friendship, and every single time you heard that voice, the one that whispers in the dark hours, you're a quitter. You never finish anything. There's something wrong with you. Maybe other people said it out loud, or maybe you just saw it in their eyes. That look of disappointment, that subtle shift in how they talk about you. Oh, they're the one who always gives up. If you know this feeling, I want to start by completely rewriting the story you've been telling yourself. We have been sold a narrative that quitting is always a failure of character, that persistence is always noble, that the people who succeed are the ones who white-knuckle their way through every commitment no matter what. But what if I told you that narrative is not just wrong, it's actually dangerous? Today we are going to decode the psychology of quitting. We will look at the neuroscience of why some brains are built to exit, and I will show you why your ability to walk away might be your most underrated strength. First, we need to understand the cultural lie. For the last 100 years, society has worshipped a single virtue above all others: grit, the ability to persevere through obstacles, to never give up, to push through the pain. And don't get me wrong, persistence has value. We absolutely need people who can endure, who can see the long game, who can weather the storms. But somewhere along the way, we confused persistence with wisdom. We started treating all quitting as equal, as if quitting a toxic job is the same as quitting on your dreams, as if leaving a relationship that drains you is the same as running from commitment. The truth is far more nuanced. Psychologists have identified something called the sunk cost fallacy. This is when we continue investing in something not because it has future value, but because we've already invested so much. We throw good years after bad years, good energy after bad energy. Your brain is trying to protect you from feeling like you wasted your time, but in doing so, it keeps you trapped. The people who quit are often the people who can see past this trap. They have a different kind of courage, the courage to admit that the path they're on is leading somewhere they don't want to go. That's not weakness, that's clarity. Now let's talk about your brain, because this isn't just about philosophy. There is actual neuroscience behind why some people quit more easily than others. Recent research in cognitive flexibility shows that certain brains have a higher capacity for what scientists call adaptive disengagement. Think of it like this: your brain has two competing systems. The first is the goal persistent system. This is driven by the anterior cingulate cortex. It keeps you locked onto a target. It creates that feeling of, I must finish this. It hates uncertainty and craves completion. The second is the environmental monitoring system. This is driven by the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. It is constantly scanning for new information. It is asking, is this still the best use of my resources? Has the landscape changed? Most people have a stronger goal persistent system. Once they commit, their brain releases dopamine for staying the course. The thought of quitting feels neurologically painful. But some people have a more active monitoring system. Your brain is constantly running cost-benefit analyses in the background. You are unconsciously tracking whether the effort you're putting in matches the value you're getting out. When that equation tips, your brain sends you a signal, a feeling of restlessness, a sense that something is off, a voice that says, this isn't it anymore. That's not sabotage. That's your sophisticated early detection system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Here's the part that will change how you see yourself. In evolutionary terms, we needed both types of people. The tribe needed the people who would stay in one place and build the village, who would plant the crops and tend them for months, who would commit to the long, slow work of civilization. But the tribe also needed scouts, the people who would leave the village to find new hunting grounds, who would abandon a failing water source before everyone died of thirst, who would recognize when it was time to migrate. If you are someone who quits, you might be a scout brain living in a settler's world. Modern society is built for settlers. It rewards people who pick one career and climb the ladder for 30 years, who stay in the same town, who commit to one partner and never look back. But the world is changing faster than it ever has before. Industries collapse overnight. Companies die. The skills that mattered 5 years ago are obsolete today. In this environment, adaptive disengagement is not a liability. It's a survival skill. The people who will thrive in the next decade are not the ones who stubbornly cling to a sinking ship. They are the ones who can read the water, abandon what's not working, and pivot quickly. You've been practicing that skill your whole life. But I know what you're thinking. Okay, but how do I know if I'm being strategic or if I'm just running away? This is the most important question, because not all quitting is created equal. Psychologists distinguish between two types of quitting: strategic quitting and avoidant quitting. Avoidant quitting is when you leave because something is hard, because you hit resistance, because you're afraid of failure or judgment. This type of quitting is driven by fear. It often happens right before a breakthrough. You can feel it in your body. It feels like panic, like escape. Strategic quitting is different. It happens after deep consideration. You've gathered data, you've tested the hypothesis, you've discovered that the cost is genuinely higher than the benefit. This type of quitting is driven by wisdom. It feels calm, it feels like a conscious choice. Here's a simple test. Ask yourself this question: am I running from pain, or am I walking towards something better? If you're running, slow down. Do the hard thing, build the muscle. But if you're walking, if you can articulate where you're going and why the current path doesn't lead there, then trust yourself. You're not being weak, you're being intelligent. So let's talk about how to quit well. Because if quitting is a skill, then there's a right way to do it. The first principle is conscious closure. Don't just disappear. Don't ghost on your commitments. Don't let things fade into ambiguity. Make a clear decision. Communicate it. Create a plan for your exit. Honor your agreements while you transition out. This does two things. It protects your reputation and relationships. But more importantly, it protects your own psychology. When you quit with intention, you close the loop. There's no lingering guilt, no open tabs draining your mental energy. The second principle is extract the lesson. Every experience you quit holds data. What did you learn about yourself? What patterns are you noticing? What do you need in your next chapter that this one didn't provide? If you quit 5 jobs in a row without asking these questions, you'll just repeat the same pattern. But if you mine each experience for insight, you're not failing, you're iterating, you're running experiments on your life. The third principle is protect your narrative. The story you tell yourself about your quitting will shape your entire identity. If you tell yourself, I'm a quitter and I'll never succeed, you create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your brain will look for evidence to confirm that story. But if you tell yourself, I'm someone who values my time and energy and I'm willing to change course when something isn't aligned, you create a completely different future. The same behavior. 2 radically different identities. Let me be very clear about something. I'm not saying you should quit everything. I'm not saying commitment doesn't matter. I'm not saying you should run at the first sign of difficulty. What I am saying is this: your capacity to walk away from what's not working is just as valuable as your capacity to stay with what is. The world needs both. And if you're someone who has been shamed for quitting, who has internalized the belief that there's something broken in you, I want you to hear this. You are not weak. You are not flaky. You are not incapable of commitment. You are someone with a highly sensitive environmental monitoring system. You feel the misalignment before others do. You recognize the dead ends faster. You're willing to pay the social cost of changing direction because you value your one precious life too much to waste it. That's not a character flaw. That's self-respect. So the next time you feel that pull to leave, don't immediately shame yourself. Pause. Ask the question, am I running from fear or walking toward alignment? If it's fear, stay and build your courage. But if it's alignment, trust yourself. You've been training for this your whole life. Thank you for watching. I hope this gives you permission to see your choices differently, and I'll see you in the next one.